Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a really crucial point for, well, anyone in the creative industries, really. Production companies, agencies, freelancers.
hmm
It's about that vital link, between your artistic talent and having a solid business strategy for lasting success.
Yeah, exactly. And our mission today, I guess, is to unpack how the successful creatives, the successful studios are building things that last. Not just great individual projects, but enduring businesses.
Think of it as a shortcut.
Yeah, a shortcut to understanding how you can thrive, really thrive in the long run.
Okay, so let's get right into it. There's this common trap, right? This project-to-project thinking.
Well, yeah, big one.
So many talented people, talented studios, they focus so intensely on just like nailing the creative execution for this project.
Mhm.
And they sort of hope that this project will magically pave the way for the next big thing.
And that's just,
Well, it's a precarious position to be in, isn't it? When your whole strategy, if you can even call it that, revolves around just the creative success of one thing after another, without a broader business plan.
you're vulnerable.
Totally vulnerable. You're constantly in pursuit mode, chasing the next gig. And, if that hoped for breakthrough doesn't quite happen or takes longer than you thought,
You're left scrambling.
yeah, scrambling. It's stressful, unsustainable.
Right. And the key insight here really is that true success, sustainable success, is about establishing more than just like a portfolio of cool work.
Mm-hmm.
It's about actively building assets,
Mm-hmm.
things that go beyond single deliverables.
Right. Assets. So what does that actually mean?
Well, we're talking about creating diverse income streams. For one, not putting all your eggs in one project basket,
Yeah.
and nurturing strong client relationships, the kind that lead to repeat business, consistent work.
Okay. Yeah. Retention.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And developing a genuine long-term vision, something that stretches way beyond just finishing the current project. And what's really fascinating, I think, is how the whole creative industry landscape is kind of evolving and almost demanding this strategic approach now.
How so?
Well, just look at the major players.
Yeah.
Think Disney, Paramount. They started, obviously, as incredible content creators.
Sure. Movies, shows.
Right. But they've strategically moved way beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
They now own their distribution channels. Disney plus Paramount plus. That wasn't accidental.
No, that was a massive strategic shift, owning the whole pipeline.
Exactly. And it's not just the giants making these kinds of moves, adapting like this. We're seeing smaller studios get incredibly savvy, too.
Mm-hmm.
There's this really interesting trend. Sometimes people call it stacking content.
Shaking content. Okay, tell me more.
It's where you take a core creative idea, maybe a single project foundation, and you strategically leverage it to produce a whole range of different formats.
Okay, like what?
So imagine you make a really great short film. Instead of just stopping there, you could spin off a companion podcast delving deeper into the themes.
Ah, interesting.
Or create engaging little social media snippets from it. Maybe even develop workshops based on the skills of a story. Or find branded content opportunities related to the subject.
So you're maximizing the value of that initial creative effort.
Precisely. It connects back to the bigger picture. The strategic mindset totally shifts. Smart studios aren't just focused on delivering the immediate project flawlessly, though that's important, obviously.
Of course.
But they're constantly thinking, okay, how does this piece contribute to our larger long-term business goals? It becomes about generating momentum, building a cohesive body of work, creating an ecosystem around your ideas, not just completing isolated tasks.
That makes a lot of sense. It's a much more intentional way of operating.
Definitely.
This actually brings us nicely to a concrete example. There's a company, Studio 86, whose approach really seems to embody this blend of, creative execution and smart business thinking.
Yes, Studio 86 are a great case study for this.
So what are they doing differently?
Well, they've intentionally moved away from just being order takers,
Yeah.
just fulfilling a brief. They focus on cultivating genuine, ongoing partnerships with their clients.
Okay. Partnership, not just vendor.
Exactly. And what's really insightful about them is that they don't just hand over the final product, say, a polished video, and walk away.
Right.
They actively collaborate with their clients
Mm.
to strategize. They help figure out how to maximize the impact of that content over time.
Can you give an example? Like, how does that actually work?
Sure. So for a recent campaign, Studio 86 didn't just deliver the main campaign video.
Mhm.
They also presented like a 3-month content calendar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it outlined exactly how different segments of that main video could be repurposed. Things like specific snippets for Instagram Reels with suggested hooks,
Mm-hmm.
ideas for LinkedIn articles that expand on the video's key themes,
Yeah.
even concepts for short animated explainers using the video's graphics for the client's website.
So they're showing the client how to get way more mileage out of that initial investment.
Exactly. It demonstrates a clear strategy that goes way beyond just the initial deliverable. It builds value, builds trust.
And it sounds like they apply this same kind of long-term thinking to their own creative projects too. You mentioned things like Food Truck Fusion or My Life on a Plate.
They do, yeah. For their own original content, they're not just making it for the sake of making it. They're actively focused on building an audience around those concepts.
Okay. Audience building first.
Right. And exploring opportunities for things like content licensing, looking for relevant sponsorship deals. It's all geared towards creating assets. There's that word again, assets with enduring value. Things that can generate revenue or opportunities well beyond the initial creation phase.
That's smart. It's building something sustainable.
Definitely.
So thinking about all this, as we look ahead in the creative industries, what do you see as the really key factors for future success? What should people be focusing on?
That's a crucial question. I think several key areas really stand out. First, probably the ability to directly own your audience.
Right. Not just renting space on social media.
Exactly. Building that email list, that community, whatever it is, so you're not entirely at the mercy of platform algorithms changing overnight.
Right.
That direct connection is going to be paramount.
Absolutely. Okay. Where else?
Second, I'd say the strategic use of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
AI.
Okay. AI is everywhere now. How does it fit in here?
Well, not necessarily for replacing the core creativity, but for streamlining production workflows,
Mm-hmm.
achieving greater scalability maybe.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Some studios are already leveraging AI-powered tools for tasks like, say, automated video editing
Yeah.
to quickly generate social media clips from longer footage.
Mm-hmm. Saves time.
Yeah, or using AI to help generate initial storyboarding ideas or even analyzing audience data maybe to get insights that inform content strategy. It's about efficiency gains, freeing up humans for the higher level creative thinking.
Got it. So it's a tool used strategically.
Precisely. And then thirdly, and this is huge,
Yeah.
developing original intellectual property, IP.
Right. The holy grail for many creatives.
Kind of. Think unique characters, repeatable show formats, compelling concepts that you own, IP that can generate value consistently over time through licensing, merchandise, sequels, whatever. That's essential for long-term sustainability and growth.
So audience ownership, strategic AI use, and developing IP, those seem like powerful pillars.
I think so.
And really, when you boil it all down, we keep coming back to that central point we started with, the absolute necessity of integrating your artistic talent with, well, sharp business acumen.
Yes. It's not an either-or.
No.
Right.
And it's so crucial, I think, for creatives to see that
Yeah.
this isn't about choosing between your creativity and, selling out or becoming purely commercial.
Right. That's often the fear, isn't it?
It is. But smart business thinking isn't about compromising your artistic vision, not at all. It's actually about building a stable, sustainable foundation for your creativity, a platform that allows it to thrive and endure over the long haul.
That's a much healthier way to frame it.
Yeah.
It enables the art. So if you're listening to this and you're working in the creative world in any capacity, the core message really is this. It's time. It's time to elevate your business thinking. Bring it up to the same level of focus and dedication you already apply to honing your creative skills.
Yeah. Your artistic excellence, that's the bedrock. It has to be there.
Absolutely fundamental.
But the strategic business thinking, that's the engine. That's what's going to drive your growth, your stability, your long-term success.
I'm going to agree more.
Yeah.
And that fusion,
Yeah.
where your creative passion truly intersects with smart strategic planning. That's where the real excitement lies, I think. That's where the potential for the future of the creative industries really opens up.
It's about building something resilient, right?
Yeah.
Something that doesn't just support your ongoing creative expression, but actually flourishes because you've built a smart, sustainable business model around it. Something to really think about.